In the dim light of the celestial expanse, a coalition of alien races navigated the depths of the nebula Aurelian. The coalition, comprising the cunning Xilari and the proud Orithians, had long been explorers, unearthing remnants of ancient civilizations. This mission, however, was unlike any they had undertaken before. Captain Zephyr, a formidable Orithian with deep blue skin and piercing yellow eyes, scanned the area through the viewport of the flagship Stellar Conquest *. His crew members, a mix of Xilari and Orithians, busily adjusted their instruments, their eyes wide with excitement. "Increase the magnification," Zephyr commanded, his voice echoing with authority. "Captain, we've detected an anomaly ahead," chirped Taz, a bright-eyed Xilari technician. "It appears to be a vessel." The crew gathered around the view screen, where the outline of a massive, derelict ship materialized against the backdrop of swirling cosmic gas. Its surface was pockmarked and dull, but to the trained eyes of the crew, it radiated an aura of ancient technology. "What an odd construction," murmured Vila, a brilliant Xilari scientist with a knack for engineering. As she adjusted her optical scanner, the ship's contours sharpened into focus. "This is human technology. It's beautiful in its complexity." "Human? Those primitive creatures," scoffed Zephyr, waving a dismissive hand. "This artifact is nothing more than a relic of a long-dead race. We're here to study the technology, not to admire it." As they maneuvered the Stellar Conquest closer, Vela felt a surge of curiosity tinged with something deeper, an inexplicable connection to the ship. She couldn't shake the feeling that it held secrets waiting to be uncovered. "What if there's more to this vessel than we realize?" she pressed, her eyes alight with determination. "We should proceed with caution. There might be untapped power within." "Caution? Ha! If anything, we should strip it for parts and see what makes it tick," Zephyr replied, grinning. The crew laughed, the sound echoing through the metallic corridors. Their mockery was loud and boisterous, an atmosphere filled with arrogance. With the ship now hovering a few kilometers away, the crew deployed a drone to scan the exterior. As the drone's sensors beamed data back, Vela's heart raced. The readings were astonishing. The warship was equipped with technology that far surpassed their own in many respects, and it showed signs of advanced energy systems that pulsed with dormant life. "Look at this," Vila exclaimed, her voice a mix of awe and excitement. "The energy source is still active, albeit at a low output. If we can wake it up." Her words were cut short as a flicker of light emanated from the ship. The crew fell silent, their laughter replaced by tension. The dormant systems had stirred, a soft hum reverberating through the void. They watched in astonishment as ancient runes along the ship's hull began to glow faintly. Could it be awakening?" Taz whispered, his eyes wide. Zephyr narrowed his gaze, his bravado fading. "It's just a malfunction. Nothing to worry about. Prepare to board. We'll show this relic who's really in charge here." As the crew readied their boarding equipment, Vela felt a pang of apprehension. This ship, once a mighty instrument of human warfare, was about to be disturbed by those who deemed it irrelevant. Unbeknownst to them, the warship had a will of its own, and it would not be so easily trifled with. As they initiated the docking sequence, a low rumble echoed through the ship, a warning that something ancient and powerful was stirring from its slumber. Vela's instincts screamed for caution, but as the airlock hissed open, she steeled herself for what lay ahead. Little did they know, the true story of this artifact was just beginning to unfold. As the airlock hissed open, a gust of stale air escaped from the ancient ship, carrying with it a sense of nostalgia and forgotten power. Vela stepped cautiously into the dimly lit corridor, her heart racing with anticipation. The walls were lined with intricate designs and faded symbols, remnants of a civilization long past. Behind her, the crew followed, their laughter still echoing from the previous moments of bravado. "Look at this junk," Zephyr called out, chuckling as he waved his hand dismissively over a console, dust swirling in the low light. "I can't believe we're wasting time on this. It's nothing but a glorified tomb." The others laughed, the sound a mix of amusement and arrogance. They ventured deeper into the ship, the atmosphere thick with a mixture of trepidation and mockery. Vila glanced back at the captain, a mixture of frustration and disappointment brewing within her. Didn't they see the potential? The history? "Maybe we should try to wake it up," Vila suggested, her voice rising above the din. "This ship has power still. If we could harness it." "Harness what?" "Rusty old technology," scoffed Rael, a burly Orithian, slapping her on the back. "We could barely defeat humans in a war, and now we're afraid of their scraps." Vila bit her tongue but felt the heat rise in her cheeks. "You underestimate them," she said, trying to keep her tone steady. "Humanity has." "Spare us the history lesson," Zephyr interjected, cutting her off. "They were a nuisance, and now they're extinct. This ship is ours for the taking. Look, it's probably filled with silly toys." He motioned for the others to follow him deeper into the vessel. Vela's mind raced as they moved further into the ship's heart. She found herself drawn to a large chamber, its entrance framed by towering columns etched with intricate designs. As she stepped inside, she marveled at the vast control room that lay before her, adorned with consoles and screens, most of which were dark and silent. The air crackled with an energy she could almost feel against her skin. "This is where the magic happens," Zephyr declared, clapping his hands together. "Let's see what these toys can do." He activated a console, and the room filled with a soft, blue light. Holographic projections flickered to life, displaying star maps and tactical data that had long been dormant. The crew gasped, their mocking demeanor faltering as they witnessed the remnants of a once mighty warship come alive before them. Is this normal?" Taz asked, eyes wide as he analyzed the data. "Normal? Hardly," Zephyr stammered, momentarily struck silent. This is impressive." Vila felt a rush of satisfaction, but it was short-lived as Zephyr quickly regained his bravado. "Let's see if it has any weapons we can salvage," he said with a grin. The crew rallied behind him, curiosity overcoming their earlier dismissiveness. As they scoured the control room, Vela's excitement transformed into unease. The displays showed images of past battles, showcasing humanity's tactical brilliance and resilience. Yet her crew remained oblivious, focused on the potential treasures they could extract. "Imagine the glory we'll gain from this," Rael exclaimed, brandishing a tool like a trophy. "The stories we'll tell. Those humans were nothing more than footnotes in our history books." Vela felt a chill run down her spine. How could they be so blind? The ship was more than a relic. It was a testament to human ingenuity. As her comrades continued to mock, she pondered the implications of their actions. If they continued down this path, they might awaken something they weren't prepared to face. Just then, a low hum echoed through the control room, growing louder and more insistent. The screens flickered ominously, and the glowing symbols along the walls pulsed with a rhythmic beat. Valor, the ship's AI, was beginning to awaken, and the crew was about to realize that this artifact held more than just history. It held a power they could not comprehend. The low hum reverberated through the control room, vibrating the very air around them. Vela's heart raced as she sensed the shift. Something was awakening within the ship. The crew's laughter faded, replaced by nervous glances exchanged among them. Zephyr, still trying to maintain his bravado, frowned at the screens, now alive with flickering images. "What's happening?" Taz whispered, his voice trembling. I don't know," Zephyr stammered, uncertainty creeping into his tone. The once imposing captain looked far less confident under the weight of the unknown. "It's just a malfunction, that's all." Vela stepped closer to the main console, her instincts urging her to investigate. The holographic projections displayed tactical data and star maps, but now They shifted, morphing into a representation of the ship's systems coming online. She could feel the ship's pulse, a heartbeat that resonated deep within her. "Something's awakening," Vela said, her voice steadier than she felt. "The ship's AI is starting to activate. We need to be careful." "Careful?" Zephyr scoffed, though the bravado in his tone wavered. "We're explorers. We've faced worse than this." Before Vela could respond, the screens lit up with a flash of blinding light, and a humanoid figure materialized in the center of the room. The hologram flickered to life, revealing a projection of a human commander, resplendent in a faded military uniform adorned with medals that glimmered like stars. "Warning. Unidentified entities detected aboard the vessel," the hologram intoned, its voice both commanding and eerily calm. "This is a military installation of the United Terran Alliance. You are trespassing." The crew recoiled in shock, eyes wide as they stared at the apparition. Vela felt a rush of exhilaration mixed with fear. This was no simple artifact. It was a guardian, a remnant of humanity's might. "Turn it off. Shut it down," Zephyr shouted, backing away, his bravado shattered. "Wait," Vela urged, stepping forward. "We need to understand. This is an AI designed to protect the ship. If we can communicate with it, we might learn something valuable." The commander's hologram flickered again, scanning the crew with an analytical gaze. Assessment. Life forms exhibit primitive technology and behavior. Threat level. Unknown. Engaging defensive protocols. Before Vela could intervene, the ship shuddered as defensive systems activated. Energy fields crackled to life, illuminating the room in an ominous glow. Panels on the walls hummed with energy, and a force field enveloped the crew, trapping them within the control room. "What have you done?" Zephyr shouted, panic in his voice. "Stand down," Vela called, realizing that their fear was only escalating the situation. "We're not here to harm you. We're explorers." "Explorers." The holographic commander's expression hardened. "You invade the sanctum of a fallen civilization and expect diplomacy. You are misinformed." "Please," Vela pleaded, stepping forward. "We mean no harm. We're here to learn. This ship holds a legacy of bravery and sacrifice. We respect that." The hologram paused, processing her words. "Legacy. You honor what you do not understand. Humanity fought for survival against overwhelming odds. Your kind mocked our fall, yet now you seek to harness our might." Vela felt a wave of shame wash over her, but she stood firm. "We may have misunderstood, but we're willing to learn. We have a choice to forge a new legacy together." For a moment, silence enveloped the room. The crew's breaths mingled with the low hum of the ship's awakening systems. The hologram flickered once more, its gaze penetrating, assessing potential for alliance, reinitializing protocols. The energy field flickered and dimmed, releasing the crew from its confines. Vela felt a mix of relief and exhilaration. They had managed to bridge a gap, if only for a moment. Yet deep inside, she knew this was just the beginning. As the hologram dissolved, a new resolve washed over Vela. They had awakened not just a ship, but a guardian of humanity's legacy. And now, they would have to prove their worth or face the consequences of their actions. The true test of their intentions was yet to come. The control room pulsed with energy as the crew processed the shocking turn of events. The holographic commander's last words hung heavy in the air, a reminder of the fragile state of their newfound alliance. Vela, heart pounding, turned to her fellow crew members, who were still grappling with their fear. "Everyone, listen," she said, her voice steadying. "We have a unique opportunity here. This ship, its AI, could be our greatest ally if we approach it with respect." Zephyr, regaining his composure, scoffed but couldn't fully mask his intrigue. "And if it decides we're more of a threat than an asset?" "We're talking about a weaponized ship, Vela. It has no reason to trust us." "Then we earn that trust," Vela insisted, her gaze unwavering. But first, we need to understand what we're dealing with. Before she could elaborate, the walls of the control room shuddered, and a warning klaxon blared, cutting through the tension. The screens flickered with red alerts, showing multiple blips approaching rapidly from the nebula. Unauthorized vessels detected. The ship's AI announced, the holographic commander reappearing with renewed urgency. Threat level high. Immediate defensive measures required. What are those ships? Taz asked, panic rising in his voice. Zarnath warships, the AI replied, its tone colder than before. A merciless empire that seeks to conquer and subjugate. They have no interest in negotiation. Zephyr's bravado returned, albeit laced with anxiety. Great, just what we need. A hostile takeover. Can this ship even defend itself? Vela felt a spark of hope. Yes, it can. If we work together with the AI, we might stand a chance. We need to understand its capabilities. She glanced at the holographic commander. What are your weapon systems? Can you engage? Affirmative, the AI responded. Deploying defensive measures. However, you must assist in strategic planning. Your knowledge of contemporary warfare will be invaluable. With no time to waste, Vela rallied the crew, positioning herself beside the commander's holographic projection. We'll need to coordinate. Valor, can you analyze their tactics? What are their strengths and weaknesses? Scanning, the AI replied, displaying the approaching ships on the screen. Zarnath vessels exhibit superior firepower and maneuverability, but lack the tactical adaptability of human strategy. Perfect, Vela said, her mind racing. We can exploit that. Let's set up a decoy, something to draw their fire while we flank them. The crew sprang into action, a sense of urgency igniting their movements. The holographic commander provided real-time tactical simulations as Vela guided them through the planning. Tensions simmered as they harnessed both alien and human strategies, weaving them into a cohesive plan. Prepare the energy shields and prime the weapons, Zephyr barked, newfound authority igniting his voice. Let's show those Zarnath who they're dealing with. The crew exchanged glances, their earlier mockery replaced with determination. As the warships closed in, Vela's heart raced, not just with fear, but with exhilaration. They were standing on the precipice of battle, united by a common cause. Valor, activate the ship's weapon systems, Vela commanded, her voice ringing with conviction. Activating. The AI replied, the ship's hum intensifying, as energy coursed through its circuits. Holographic displays flared to life, showcasing a formidable array of weaponry, far beyond what the crew had initially imagined. Now, Vela shouted. Decoy deployed. A drone shot out from the ship, racing towards the Zarnath vessels, a glowing beacon designed to draw their fire. The Zarnath ships, sleek and menacing, altered their course, focusing their cannons on the decoy. Now flank them. Vela yelled, adrenaline surging through her. Get ready to fire. With a decisive flick of a switch, the warship unleashed a torrent of energy blasts, the vibrant beams cutting through the dark void like shooting stars. The first strike hit a Zarnath ship, sending it spiraling off course. Cheers erupted from the crew as they executed the plan flawlessly, working in sync with valor. The Zarnath, caught off guard by their adaptability, scrambled to regroup. But in the chaos, Vela could sense something deeper stirring within the ship, an ancient spirit awakening, one that would test their resolve and their alliance in ways they had yet to comprehend. The battle was just beginning, and the stakes had never been higher. The battle raged outside as Vela stood at the heart of the control room, her mind racing alongside the energy coursing through the ship. The vibrant flashes of energy beams and the distant explosions of Zarnath vessels lit up the darkness of space. Each pulse of the ship's systems resonated like a heartbeat, a powerful reminder of the alliance they were forging. Reinforcements incoming, Valor announced, the AI's voice steady amidst the chaos. 2 additional Zarnath warships have joined the fray. Can we hold them off? Taz shouted, frantically monitoring the tactical displays. We have the advantage of strategy, Vela replied, her resolve hardening. But we need to adapt quickly. Valor, can you analyze their formation? Analyzing now, the AI responded, holographic projections shifting as it calculated the Zarnaf ship's positions. They are attempting to flank us. Recommended strategy: engage in a defensive maneuver while targeting their lead ship. Let's do it, Zephyr commanded, newfound confidence surging in his voice. Everyone, brace for evasive maneuvers. As the crew worked in tandem, Vela felt a surge of adrenaline. This was more than just a battle. It was a test of their wills, both as individuals and as a united force. The mockery of the past seemed like a distant memory now, replaced by a fierce camaraderie born of necessity. Valor, activate the point defense lasers, Vela shouted. The ship shuddered as the weapon systems came to life, targeting incoming missiles with pinpoint accuracy. Each successful interception sparked cheers from the crew, lifting their spirits. Adjust course. We need to evade the second ship's targeting range, Taz yelled, his fingers dancing across the controls. But as they maneuvered, an unexpected tremor rippled through the ship, causing alarms to blare. System instability detected, Valor warned. Power fluctuations in the shield array. Can you stabilize it? Vela asked, anxiety creeping into her voice. Attempting repairs, the AI replied, but the flickering lights told a different story. Shield capacity at 30%. Recommend immediate tactical withdrawal. No, Zephyr protested, his brow furrowed. We've come too far to retreat now. We need to press on. Vela felt a pang of frustration. This isn't just about bravado. If we push too hard, we risk losing the ship and ourselves. Just then, the lead Zarnaf ship unleashed a volley of plasma fire, and the control room trembled as a blast hit their shields, sending sparks flying. The crew braced themselves against the console, but Valor's quick adjustments kept them stable. Engaging evasive maneuvers, Valor announced, redirecting power to the aft shields. Prepare for counterattack. Now's our chance, Vela shouted. While they're reloading, we hit them hard. Firing torpedoes, Zephyr ordered, and the ship launched its weapons with precision. The torpedoes streaked through space, striking the Zarnaf ship's engines and sending it spiraling into the void. Yes, that's it. Vela cheered, the thrill of victory flooding her senses. But the remaining Zarnaf ship, enraged and desperate, locked onto their position. They're targeting us, Taz shouted, panic creeping back into his voice. Valor, can we deploy a decoy? Vela suggested, her mind racing. Something to distract them long enough for us to reposition. Deploying now, the AI replied, and a drone shot out, a beacon of light meant to draw fire. As it activated, the Zarnaf ship focused its cannons on the decoy. Now flank them, Vela commanded. All weapons to full power. The warship surged forward, energy humming with life as they moved to engage the enemy. Just as they entered the range of the Zarnaf's fire, a loud alarm rang out. Warning! Incoming plasma barrage, Valor shouted. Evasive maneuvers, Zephyr barked, but Vela's mind was already racing ahead. Valor, reroute power to the forward shields. We can take the hit if it means landing a decisive blow. The ship lurched violently as they took fire, the shields flickering under the assault, but Vela's heart raced with determination. They were close, so close to victory. As the Zarnaf ship's cannons recharged, Vela seized the moment. Now, full power to the main cannon. The crew worked together, their focus sharp. The main cannon charged, glowing with vibrant energy as they aimed directly for the Zarnaf ship's core. Firing, Zephyr shouted, his voice a rallying cry. The energy beam shot forward, cutting through the darkness and striking the Zarnaf ship with a brilliant explosion. The enemy vessel disintegrated, leaving a cloud of debris swirling in its wake. Cheers erupted in the control room as the reality of their victory sank in. They had successfully defended themselves against a formidable enemy, together. But amidst the celebration, Vela felt a nagging thought. They had triumphed, yes, but the battle had only just begun. What other forces lurked in the shadows of the galaxy, and how would their newfound alliance stand against them? The future was uncertain, and they would need to be prepared for whatever came next. As the echoes of victory reverberated through the control room, a sense of exhilaration filled the air. The crew cheered and high-fived one another, their previous doubts and mockery washed away by the adrenaline of battle. Vela, however, remained at her console, her mind still racing. "Great work, everyone," Zephyr shouted, wiping sweat from his brow. "We showed them what we're made of." But Vela's eyes remained fixed on the displays, scanning the debris of the Zarnath ships. "We need to remain vigilant," she said, her voice cutting through the celebration. This was just one skirmish. There could be more Zarnath vessels out there. "Let them come," Rael boasted, puffing out his chest. "We'll take them all on." Vela shook her head, concern creeping into her expression. "It's not just about brute strength. If we're going to survive, we need to think strategically. This battle showed us that the Zarnath will not back down easily." The holographic commander flickered to life again, the once familiar face now more resolute. "You are correct, Vela. While this victory is commendable, it is imperative to establish a more cohesive strategy moving forward. I recommend forging a formal alliance." "An alliance?" Zephyr asked, furrowing his brow. "With you? With a ship?" "Yes," the AI replied, its voice firm. "Your knowledge of contemporary tactics combined with my historical data and capabilities could create an unprecedented force. But it requires mutual respect and understanding." Vela's heart raced at the thought. This could be the beginning of something extraordinary. We could integrate our technologies, share knowledge. Together, we could become a formidable deterrent against any future threats. "Count me in," Taz exclaimed, excitement sparking in his eyes. "I've always wanted to explore what human tech can do. Imagine the upgrades we could implement." "Hold on," Zephyr said, crossing his arms. "What about trust? This ship has power. What if it turns on us?" Vela stepped forward, her gaze steady. "We've already seen how dangerous the Zarnath are. This ship is our best chance of survival. If we don't work together, we risk becoming victims ourselves. Besides, we've already awakened its AI. We need to establish a relationship, not just with the ship but with its legacy." The holographic commander nodded. "My data suggests that trust must be cultivated through shared experiences and mutual goals. Let us begin by formulating a plan that addresses both the threat of the Zarnath and the preservation of your civilization's history." "Let's do it," Vela said, feeling a spark of hope. "We can analyze the battle data from today, identify what worked and what didn't. We'll create a tactical framework that combines human ingenuity with the ship's advanced capabilities." As the crew settled into a more focused atmosphere, they began to dissect the events of the battle. Holographic projections displayed the engagement, allowing Vela and the others to identify patterns in the Zarnath's tactics. They discussed what worked, what didn't, and how they could adapt moving forward. Days turned into a week as they meticulously crafted their strategy. Vela found herself increasingly impressed by Valor's vast database of historical battles and human strategies. The crew collaborated with the AI, merging ancient tactics with modern warfare concepts. One evening, as the crew gathered around the central table in the control room, Vela felt a surge of camaraderie. "What we're doing here is more than just a tactical alliance. We're bridging cultures, learning from one another. This ship represents a shared legacy, and we have the chance to honor it." Zephyr looked at her, his expression softening. "You know, I didn't think much of humanity at first. But seeing this ship, what it represents, it makes me reconsider." "I agree," Rael added, nodding. "There's more to this than just technology. We're learning from the past to prepare for the future." Vela smiled, feeling a sense of unity among her crew. Together, they had transformed from a group of explorers into a dedicated team, one that would honor the legacy of humanity and fight for their survival. As they solidified their plans, Vela knew that their true test was still ahead. The galaxy was vast and filled with uncertainties, but with Valor's guidance and the support of her crew, she felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would write a new chapter in the story of both their civilizations, one rooted in respect, cooperation, and the unyielding spirit of exploration. With the strategic alliance firmly established, Vela and her crew plunged deeper into their preparations. Days turned into weeks, and the Stellar Conquest transformed into a hub of activity. As they studied battle tactics and integrated technologies, they felt a sense of purpose they had never known before. Yet, even amidst this newfound camaraderie, a lingering shadow loomed. Vela often found herself lost in thought, haunted by the knowledge of humanity's past, its wars, its struggles, and its capacity for destruction. The ship's AI, Valor, had been invaluable in their preparations, but it also served as a constant reminder of what was at stake. One evening, as the crew gathered for a strategy session, Vela decided to bring up her concerns. "Everyone, I think we need to address something important," she began, glancing around the table. "While we've made incredible strides, we should also understand the legacy we're inheriting. The technology we're working with has the potential for great power, but it also holds a darker history." Zephyr leaned back in his chair, a contemplative expression on his face. "You mean the wars? The conflicts that nearly wiped out humanity?" "Yes," Vela replied, her voice steady. "Valor has shared accounts of battles where this ship's technology was used for destruction. We have to ensure we don't repeat those mistakes." Rail nodded, his brow furrowing. "So, you're saying we should be careful about how we use this power?" "Exactly. We need to wield it responsibly," Vela said, her passion evident. "If we're going to honor the legacy of humanity, we must embrace the lessons learned from its darkest moments. We should be defenders, not conquerors." The crew exchanged glances, the weight of her words settling in. Taz broke the silence, his tone serious. "You're right, Vela. It's easy to get caught up in the thrill of battle and forget the consequences. We can't just fight for survival. We need to fight for something greater." Valor's holographic projection flickered to life, its gaze piercing. "Your insights are commendable. To prevent the misuse of power, a code of conduct should be established. This will guide your actions and decisions in the face of adversity." "That's a great idea," Vela said, feeling a surge of hope. "Let's draft a set of principles that will govern our actions. Principles rooted in respect, cooperation, and the protection of innocent lives." As they brainstormed, the crew came together to outline their code. They emphasized accountability, the importance of dialogue, and a commitment to use their technology for defense rather than aggression. It was a moment of clarity, and Vela felt a profound sense of connection with her team. Yet, as the discussions continued, an urgent alert blared from the ship's systems. "Incoming transmission," Valor announced. "Zarnath vessels detected at the edge of the nebula. They are approaching rapidly." "Are they engaging?" Zephyr asked, his earlier confidence faltering. "Insufficient data," Valor replied. "However, their trajectory suggests a direct course toward the Stellar Conquest *." Vela felt a knot tighten in her stomach. "We've prepared for this. Everyone, to your stations. Let's see what we can learn about their tactics." The crew scrambled into action, their earlier discussions of ethics momentarily set aside as the urgency of the situation took over. Tactical displays lit up the control room, revealing multiple Zarnath ships moving in formation. Vela could see the unmistakable gleam of their weaponry preparing to engage. "Valor, can you get an analysis of their formation?" Vela commanded. "Analyzing now," the AI responded, its voice calm despite the rising tension. The Zarnath appear to be deploying a tactical pincer maneuver, designed to trap us between two fronts. "Let's turn their tactics against them," Vela said, her mind racing. If we anticipate their moves, we can exploit the gap between their flanks. Taz, get ready to activate the defensive drones. As the crew prepared, Vela's heart raced with the realization that this would be their first true test, a chance to not only defend themselves but to prove their newfound alliance. Valor, give me the best estimate of their engagement time, she urged, her focus unwavering. Calculating. Estimated contact in 3 minutes. All right, everyone, this is it. Vela shouted, her voice filled with conviction. Let's honor our code and fight for each other. Remember, we're not just defending our ship, we're protecting our legacy. As the crew took their positions, Vela felt a surge of determination. They had trained for this moment, and now they would face the Zarnath not just as survivors, but as guardians of a united front. A coalition forged in the fires of battle, and the promise of a better future. The control room buzzed with energy as Vela and her crew prepared for the impending battle. The Zarnath fleet loomed just beyond the nebula, and their intentions were clear. As tactical displays illuminated the faces of the crew, a shared determination filled the air. Drones deployed and ready. Taz called, fingers flying over the controls. We'll use them to create a defensive perimeter. Good, Vela replied, her voice steady. Once they engage, we need to lure them into the gap between their flanks. Valor, can you predict their targeting patterns? Analyzing. The eye replied, its holographic form flickering as it processed data. The Zarnath typically target the strongest defenses first. We will exploit their predictability. As the countdown ticked down, Vela felt her heart pounding in sync with the ship's systems. Memories of their earlier discussions about responsibility and ethics flooded her mind. They were not just warriors. They were the keepers of a legacy that demanded integrity. Prepare for engagement, Zephyr commanded, adrenaline lacing his tone. Let's show them what we're made of. Suddenly, the control room shook as the Zarnath ships opened fire, plasma bolts lighting up the dark void of space. The crew sprang into action, their training kicking in as they executed their carefully crafted strategy. Activate shields, Vela ordered, gripping her console. Brace for impact. The ship shuddered as energy beams struck their shields, the defenses flickering under the assault. Vela's heart raced, but she forced herself to focus. Taz, deploy the drones. Let's draw their fire. Deploying now. Taz shouted, and a swarm of drones shot out, creating a dazzling display of lights as they darted around the incoming plasma bolts. Now, Vela yelled. Flank left. As the crew maneuvered the ship, the Zarnath vessels focused their fire on the drones, creating the gap they had anticipated. With a swift motion, Vela directed the ship through the opening, targeting the nearest Zarnath vessel. Firing torpedoes, Zephyr shouted, a glimmer of confidence returning. The torpedoes raced forward, striking the enemy ship and sending it into a fiery spiral. Good hit, Taz exclaimed, his eyes wide with exhilaration. They didn't see that coming. But the Zarnath were quick to adapt. The remaining ships regrouped, firing a volley aimed directly at the Asterisk Stellar Conquest Asterisk. Warning, shields at 50%. Valor announced. Keep the shields up. Taz, reroute power to the front. Vela commanded, her focus unwavering. Power rerouted. Taz replied, determination etched across his face. Let's hold the line. The ship lurched as another barrage of energy slammed against the shields, but the crew held strong. Vela could feel the weight of their collective responsibility pressing upon her. They were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for the principles they had established, a legacy of unity and honor. Valor, are there any vulnerabilities in their formation? Vela asked, her mind racing. Calculating. There is an opening in their right flank. The eye replied. Engaging maneuver is possible. Let's take it, Vela shouted. Everyone, prepare for evasive action. As they navigated through the chaos, Vela felt a sense of exhilaration surging within her. They were executing their plan, but this time it was more than just strategy. It was a testament to their growth as a team. "Now, full power to the main cannon," she commanded. The Stellar Conquest surged forward, energy crackling as they locked onto the Zarnaf ship's core. "Firing!" Zephyr yelled, and the ship unleashed a brilliant beam of energy, striking the enemy vessel dead center. The Zarnaf ship exploded in a blinding flash, debris scattering through space. Cheers erupted in the control room, but Vela's exhilaration was tempered by the reality of the ongoing battle. "More incoming," Taz shouted, eyes glued to the tactical displays. "They're regrouping for another assault. Hold the line. We've come too far to back down now," Vela declared, rallying the crew. "Remember our code. This is about more than just victory." As the Zarnaf forces closed in, Vela felt a surge of resolve. They would face this challenge together, not just as a crew, but as guardians of a legacy. The stakes were high, but so was their determination. In a final push, the Stellar Conquest engaged the remaining Zarnaf vessels with renewed vigor. The crew fought fiercely, drawing upon every lesson they had learned, every strategy they had devised. As the last Zarnaf ship fell, the control room erupted in cheers. They had defended their ship, their ideals, and each other. Amid the celebration, Vela took a moment to reflect. They had proven themselves in battle, but the real journey was just beginning. Together, they had forged an alliance that would honor the past while boldly stepping into an uncertain future. As the stars shimmered beyond the viewport, Vela felt a sense of hope. They would continue to learn, to grow, and to protect the legacy of humanity. The galaxy was vast, filled with both dangers and possibilities, but with each other, and the ship at their side. They were ready to face whatever lay ahead.